So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start, before Dr. Sharma takes on, I would request you to kindly put your mobiles on the silent mode or switch them off, because so that we can have, because it's a very interesting subject, and it is going to take a lot of understanding, because there is a new concept which is coming up. So our chief guest would be, deliberating on things, and I'll request you all to interact as much as possible so that we can put this into practice later, because PhD chamber will take a lead in this again, as in the many other initiatives of the government of India. So we would like to take it forward, especially with the MSME. Yeah, it is going to be a very, very big thing that we are contemplating now. Thank you.
Thank you, SG Sahab, and a very good morning to all. So today's program, Digital Rupee A Way Forward, is in the context of India's rising position in the international market and progress at the domestic level. As you must be aware that we are the fastest moving economy in the world economic system. And according to IMF, we are a great bright spot in the global ecosystem, which will drive the growth trajectory of the world economy. And recently, RBI has undertaken a lot of reforms for the growth and development of economy. Firstly, we would like to congratulate Reserve Bank of India for controlling inflation. Inflation trajectory is coming down. So give a big applause to Reserve Bank of India that they controlled inflation more than the advanced economies and the emerging economies. Now the inflation is below 6% from its peak of more than 15% in WPI and more than 7% in CPI. So that is a great thing there, which has been undertaken by Reserve Bank of India during the last 5-6 months. Going forward, now they are coming out with so many reforms. Firstly, they introduced the reform of the international transactions in Rupee, which is a great thing, that Rupee can be used for the international transactions. That we organized open house discussions recently, and each and everything was explained by Executive Director Dr. Deepak Kumarji. Now in the series of such interactions, we are organizing Digital Rupee A Way Forward. This is a great domestic reform which will push and speed up the growth of the economy in the coming times. So I believe this will be more and more interactive and provide so many ground level reforms and suggestions to Reserve Bank of India to move forward in such developments. So firstly, I request all the delegates to rise for national anthem, please.
Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya hai, Bharat bhagya vidhata, Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha, Dravida Uttara Banga, Indra Himachala Yamuna Ganga, Uchala Jaladhi Taranga, Tava Shubha Name Jage, Tava Shubha Ashish Mange, Gahe Tava Jaya Gatha, Janagana Mangala Dana, Bharat Bhagya Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya 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 He.
So thank you, sir. Now I request our Vice President, Shri Hemant Jain ji, to provide the welcome remarks.
Good afternoon, friends. I would like to welcome Shri Ajay Kumar Choudhary ji, Executive Director, Reserve Bank of India. Shri Anuj Ranjan ji, General Manager, Reserve Bank of India. Shri Saurabh Sanyal, Secretary General PHDCCI, Dr. S.P. Sharma, Chief Economist, Deputy Secretary General PHDCCI, all the Managing Committee members, eminent dignitaries, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very warm good afternoon to all. Let me at the outset welcome Shri Ajay Kumar Choudhary ji, Executive Director, Reserve Bank of India, who has spared his valuable time for being with us here today and to enlighten us this August gathering with RBI digital currency. We are indeed grateful to you, sir, for your graciously accepting our invitation to interact with our members today. But before we get on the subject of today's deliberation, I would like to say a few words about PHD Chamber of Commerce. So PHD Chamber of Commerce has been working as a catalyst of promoting Indian industry, trade for past 117 years. It is a forward-looking, proactive, dynamic pan-India apex organization, PHDCCI acting as a voice of industry and trade, reaching out to almost 1.5 lakh large, medium and small industries, has forged ahead, leveraging its legacy. So we are the only apex chambers which are having large and MSME. We have a focus of 70% of our members are part of the MSME sector, which is the focus of the government today. At the global level, we have been working with embassies and high commissions in India to bring in the international best practices and business opportunities. Friends, the central bank digital currency or CBDC is based on principles of trust, safety, liquidity, settlement and final and integrity. I believe the switchover to digital currency will plug in loopholes and eventually wipe out all the black money from the market, as well as even the digital rupee trace will be tracked by the RBI. I'm sure today's deliberation will throw some light on the different aspects of digital rupee and will sensitize us on the RBI's plan to roll out CBDC in coming years. With these words, I would rest my welcome address and look forward to hearing Shri Choudhary ji. So we had asked Reserve Bank of India to give us to request the ED to come, but we are thankful that along with the ED, we also have the General Manager of Reserve Bank of India, and both of them have come together to enlighten us with what's the way forward for CBDC. And I'm sure all of us will be enlightened by the words, and will go much more enriched than what we are right now. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving your time. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Vice President Shri Hemant Jain ji, for your welcome remarks, and we appreciate that you come for the interaction because of that's why you have joined that. This is a great interaction, and despite your ill health, you are able to make it a good interaction with the ED and other joinees and delegates. So we thank you very much for joining us, despite your health is not supporting you. So thank you very much. So now we request our chief guest, Shri Ajay Kumar Choudhary ji, Executive Director, Reserve Bank of India, for his thought process and presentation on the digital rupee, which has become a crucial factor at this juncture to move forward, because there are a lot of discussions and sometimes there are some confusions that Reserve Bank of India has introduced this currency despite the Paytm and other things available. So to remove all those doubts, I think this interaction will be very, very fruitful for the delegates and for the Reserve Bank of India, how this is becoming fruitful in the coming times to speed up the economic growth and to enhance the trajectory of businesses and to facilitate the people. So Shri Ajay Kumar Choudhary ji, please. Yes,
thank you. Thank you, Sarma ji and Hemant ji. Very warm good afternoon to everyone present here. Once again, Mr. Hemant Jain, Vice President, PSD. Yeah. PhD Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Sanyal, Secretary. Huh? No. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes.
Secretary General, PhD CCI, Dr. Sharma, uh, industry delegates here, uh, members from the media, as well as ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed privileged and a great honor for me to be here and to be invited to address and give a specific address on the very relevant topic of today, that is digital rupee way forward. And my compliments to the chamber for organizing this event and inviting me for this. Now, just another 20 minutes, I'll speak broadly on the broad contour of this digital currency, how basically it evolved, as well as the possible use cases. And then we'll touch upon, after concluding this, possibly we'll also go for some Q&A to demystify some of the things which are in your mind possibly, and clarify a few things which may be helping actually for the country. I'll start with talk about a significant innovation recently unveiled by RBI, Central Bank Digital Currency or Digital Rupee. We call it as a digital rupee. It is not a e-rupee. So it's called digital rupee, as it is known in India. The launch of digital rupee makes it a historical milestone in the evolution of the currency and thereby the economic and financial system of the country. In order to truly appreciate what precisely is the digital rupee, one needs to understand what currency is and what money is. And because I need to differentiate between the money and the payment system, so that's why I have to touch upon a little bit on this. Therefore, I like to start by presenting an overview of the monetary history in globally as well as in Indian context. The history of money, if you look at it, is quite fascinating and goes back thousands of years. In any economy, money performs three primary functions. One is the medium of exchange, what UPI also does, right? Additionally, it also functions the role of unit of account as also a store of value, right? So currency has these three distinct utilities. Payment system has a specific medium of exchange, what we have the robust payment system at this point of time in India. Money as a medium of exchange may be used for any transactions wherein goods or services are purchased or sold. Money as a unit of account can be used to value goods or services and express it in monetary terms. Money as a store of value can be held or conjured for future purposes. Now let's see how the developments in the economy have influenced the form and functions of money. Money has had a significant impact on the way we function as a society. From the early days of barter system to the fiscal metal coins and eventually the first paper money. Use of coins was a huge milestone in the history of money because it allowed people to pay by count, means number of coins you can give in exchange, rather than weight. In modern economies, currency is a form of money that is issued exclusively by the sovereign or a central bank as its representative, what we do as RBI in India. It is a liability of the issuing central bank. Means when we issue the currency, our note, what you have, physical cash, it is a liability of the central bank, RBI, and sovereign, an asset of the holding public. It is asset with you. Currency is a fiat, means it's backed by something, right? And it is a legal. So it's a legal tender, it's a fiat, is issued by some credible entity like central bank, backed by the guarantee of the sovereign. So these are the typical characteristics of any currency is there. Vis-a-vis, possibly I'm emphasizing on this because then you can compare it with the crypto, the private currency that possibly we may discuss later. The advancement in tech has made it possible for the development of digital avatar of money. Central bank digital currency, what we call today, as the next milestone in the evolution of monetary and currency system. Remarkably, the idea of CBDC is not a recent development. Some attribute the origin of CBDCs to Nobel laureate James Tobin, an American economist who in 1980s suggested that the Fed Reserve banks in USA would make available to the public a widely accessible medium with the convenience of deposits and the safety of currencies. So that time he had envisaged this. However, interest in CBDC has been got the significant traction in the recent years. Over the course of 2021, work on CBDC gained further momentum. As per the CBDC tracker, currently 105 countries, representing over 95% of global GDP, exploring CBDC. Around 50 countries are in an advanced phase of exploration. Advanced phase means either development or pilot or launch. 10 countries have fully launched the digital currency, with China's pilot set to expand in 2023. Jamaica is the latest country to launch a CBDC, which is called the JAMDEX. Of Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, launched its CBDC in October 2021. As we have taken over the presidency of G20 for 1 year early this month, let me mention that 19 of the G20 countries are exploring a CBDC, with 16 already in development or pilot stage, which includes countries like South Africa, South Korea, Japan, Russia, and India. Now, question is why there is interest in CBDC globally? The recent interest has been motivated by a number of factors, including interest in tech innovations in the financial sectors and increasing attention to the so-called private digital tokens, what we know it, crypto and all. Accordingly, many central banks and governments are stepping up efforts towards exploring a digital version of fiat currency. Some of the reasons for interest among central banks has been largely specific to their country and for pursuing specific policy objectives. For example, financial inclusion, improving access, bringing in efficiency in payment systems, curbing illicit use of money, strengthening resilience of the financial system, and address issues of sovereignty, competition, etc. Many countries, many of the